some estimates, I think, in William Manchester were 600 pounds.
Body and everything, probably get close to 600.
And it was bronze?
Yeah.
And would you be do you know what a shipping casket looks like?
Oh, yeah. I worked at a funeral home.
Yeah.
We shipped a lot of bodies.
You're a retired police, or you are a police officer. You are a retired police officer. That's right? So you feel confident that the body arrived in a shipping casket, which is entirely different from a ceremonial casket intended for funerals.
Yes. This was a ceremonial casket he went out in.
Yeah.
She walked, I was right there. They walked out the door. She walked right behind her with her hand on top of it.
Right.
Could you describe the whole scene from the time you helped put the body in the casket?
Right. I had the head portion, and Dennis McGuire, my rider, had the bottom portion, and his hand would go here, mine would go just above here, and we'd pick him up straight, turn around, put him in the casket. We closed the lid, we sealed it, and then the priest blessed the casket and holy water and everything. Then he put a crucifix. Had a
Were you
crucifix on
waiting before you put him in the coffin and sealed it? Had you been waiting for the priest?
Oh yeah, he had not had his last rites. No. That was.
You waited what? How long?
Probably 30, 40 minutes.
Is that right?
That's about right. I remember now that
Did anybody else come in the room, and were you all in the room the whole time, or one of the nurses or somebody? Could anybody have come in and tampered with the body at that time?
I would say no.
I was there during the last rites.
And was Mrs. Kennedy in that room, would you say, throughout the time
Yes.
that you were waiting for the priest?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So nobody could have come in and done anything,
No.
or put the body in a
No.
shipping
No
casket
way.
and taken him through the tunnel out of the hospital?
No, there's too many people around there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure this probably been discussed elsewhere, but I recall vividly the casket being brought out of trauma room 1, and Earl Rose tried to push it back in. He said, "You can't take this body; it needs an autopsy under state law or something like that." And he was just surrounded by a bunch of Secret Service and FBI who didn't know each other, and he was slammed up against the wall, and that casket went right out the door.
So you put the lid on the coffin, and then would you tell what happened all the way to the airport?
Well, from the beginning, like the doctor says, we started out of the trauma room with it, and anyway, someone says, "No, you're not taking it. You're not taking us out," and they pushed us back in. And Secret Service said, "Let's go." So they would push us out, and we finally got the thing out of the room and squared into the hallway. And I remember we went through maternity section, which ambulance drivers were never allowed in maternity section unless we was taking the bodies through.
Yeah.
And that was very unusual that we went that way. And when we would try, we would push the body, or I had the head of the casket, and